Put some more water in here.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Just Between Us Girls. I am your host, Lady Kim Sims. If this is your first time joining us, we just say welcome. Just Between Us Girls is a television show, a podcast, a support group, and a sisterhood all rolled up into one. We believe that every girl needs a group of girlfriends, women, aunties, nieces, where they can talk about anything and everything in a safe and non-judgmental way. And J-Bug is just that tribe. We will laugh together, learn together, and maybe even sometimes cry together. But what we will do always is be honest, transparent, and respectful. Just Between Us Girls is a very interactive show, so we welcome your comments and your participation, and we encourage that. But before we get started tonight, let me introduce you to my amazing co-host. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
All right. Good evening, my Miss Positivity herself, Miss Janice Millhouse. How are you, Janice?
I'm doing well.
Awesome. Well, she's smart, she's sassy, and she's a little bit classy. Good evening, Miss Charlotte Taylor.
Yes.
Hey, Charlotte, how's it going tonight?
I'm well. Thank you so much for asking.
All right. Well, she's a PK kid, but hey, she'll put you right on in your place. Turn around and love on you. Welcome, Miss Angela Davis Vernon. Hey, Miss Angie, how are you tonight?
I am awesome.
All right.
Ready to jump in.
All right. She's a funny hype girl herself. Good evening, Miss Mona Jackson. Hey, Miss Mona, how you doing this evening?
Doing wonderful.
Are you ready?
We ready.
And last but not least, our free-thinking millennial to keep us all up to date. Welcome, Miss Deanna B. Williams. Hey, Deanna, girl. How you doing tonight?
Let's get into it.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. On tonight's episode of Just Between Us Girls, we're talking about He Said Yes. Is it ever okay for a girl to propose? Ooh. According to brides.com, 95% of women who want to get married will wait around for it to happen. It suggests that many women will not break from traditional norms. However, there are signs that attitudes are changing towards women proposing. Now, this scenario actually played out in a storyline for the reality TV show Love and Hip Hop New York, where there was a well known rapper, I will not say the name, who had been dating his live in girlfriend for 20 plus years. And on one of the episodes, she grew tired of waiting on him to propose to her, so she proposed to him. Now, this brings me to my question. This is for my J Bug ladies and also our J Bug listeners. Do you think that what are your thoughts on women, proposing to a man? Ding, 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 ding. Ooh, I got comments already. Oh.
And what's so funny? I mean, the unmentioned name people, they're still not married. After she had proposed to him, they're still not married. So hey.
We're talking about the people from the reality.
Yeah, they're still not married. So
oh my.
I'm gonna tell you, to each his own, but I think that it's a no for me. It's a no for me. I mean, I think that, sometimes, it can be a daunting task. I always say that a lot of times as we're, going through life and you meeting and you dating, us women sometimes date with the thing about like, okay, is this the one? Is this the one? And then when you get down into it and you have, those good conversations, those of us that like the good conversations, they listen to all your problems and all this stuff. We lock them in before they actually lock us in.
Right.
Sometimes, I'm gonna tell you, I just believe we should just sometimes spare ourselves the embarrassment, only because, truth be told, men know what they want a lot sooner. But if it's taking him a prolonged amount of time, you may just not be it, and I don't believe in allowing or not allowing, but I don't believe in just, being somebody's plaything for a little while I'm holding you down, because women, sometimes we do commit. We are the ones that, hold out, we stop dating everybody else. Meantime, he dating other people, and we just waiting on that moment. And I think that we should just slow down and not take the plunge. Let him, address us with what it is, his desires. Like Ty says, he defines a wife, not she defines a husband.
That's
and
right.
that you are a wife before the man comes along. But if he doesn't see that in you, then no, I don't think you ought to be taking the plunge, sis.
Exactly.
All right. Well, next.
Boy,
No.
My heart just goes pitter patter at the thought of getting down on my arthritic knee, asking a man to marry me. It's going to be a really hard no for me. Really hard no for me asking a man to marry me. I think that a lot of times we as women, like Deanna said, look at really more of having a wedding than really a marriage. You know what I mean? We get really caught up in, having a whole lot of folks coming and having this $15,000-$20,000 wedding and not really understanding that it is not even about that. That's an event. And marriage is something that we're doing for a lifetime. So if we're going to do it the right way, we're going to allow men to lead. And when we're allowing men to lead the way that God says, we should do that from the beginning. You know what I mean? It's sort of like reversing the role, and then I'm gonna lead, and all it's just gonna get all tangled up. It's not gonna be right. You know, if I take on the role from the very beginning of what should be the man's headship, you know, in the marriage and the relationship. So yeah, no, I won't be able to ask him. I'll be able to say yes, but I ain't gonna be able to ask him. No.
Now, Ty said, one of our J Bud listeners, Ty Johnson, said, just as she agreed with you, Mona, if you take the lead in starting the marriage, you will take the lead in keeping the marriage. And it was said that you are the one that wanted this anyway.
Yes.
I have to agree with her on that one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wouldn't
I've seen that done before because I've actually seen or heard of instances like that where, you know, the man, not necessarily the woman proposed to the man, but the woman put a lot of pressure on the man to propose, but wasn't necessarily ready. And then this was constantly, you know, thrown in their face because truth be told, they weren't ready. And so when it came down to like meeting this woman's needs emotionally and things like this, and just him being detached from the marriage, it was always thrown up that you wanted this. I gave you, you wanted the wedding. I gave you the wedding. You wanted this. I gave you this. And I'm still going to do me. I wasn't ready. You were the one that were ready. So that's a very good point that Ty Johnson made. You know, you start that off and you have to, you end up being the one that may be taking on a lot of, you know, the responsibility for the maintenance of that marriage. If the man is not, you know, and you want to get together, he gonna check out. You know, something and men don't mind checking out when they're emotionally not there or not, and they put you in, you know, this box. Okay, this is my wife, and she just gonna be here. They'll honor that death do you part, but the thing is that you gonna go through the highs, the lows, the you know, the good and the bad that it talked about. But you may be just maintaining this all on your own, just for the sake of keeping a marriage.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I feel like when you start to feel or think about marriage with the person you're dating, there should be conversation. You need to sit down and have clear conversations. You need to let that person know where you're at, and you need to listen to where he or she is. You know, and be honest if you're not on the same page. And a lot of times, I know with me going when I was started dating and started thinking about marriage and me and I were dating, I was romanticizing the situation instead of looking at the situation for the realness of what was really going on. A man that's checked out, he's going to be checked out from the beginning. He's not going to just jump in and, you know, and then check out. He's going to be checked out from the beginning. But we have to be honest and recognize those red flags and all those signs when he's showing us that's not what he wants. He's not looking for marriage. He's not looking probably for a committed relationship. You know, he might like you, might think you're cute, and he might like it just enjoy spending time with you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're the one he wants to have, you know, that long-term relationship with or even marriage. My dad told me when I was a young girl, around 16, when I first started dating, and I would always be on trying to get the phone and call the little boys and stuff. He told me, look, if he want to talk to you, he gonna call you. You don't have to call him.
Absolutely.
And you know, I didn't understand that then, but as I got older and I started to mature, I realized it was true. When a man is interested in you, he's gonna talk to you.
Yes.
He's gonna call you. He's gonna make himself available.
Yes.
He's gonna show you that he's interested.
That's true.
If a man is not doing that, then you need to say,
yeah,
you know, he's not as vested in this relationship as I am.
Absolutely.
You know, don't invest your time into something. Don't try to be a wife to somebody that's not checking for you to be his wife.
Be his wife. So look, ladies, okay.
That's
I'm gonna
good.
move this right along. So you're dating the love of your life, and it's going on 2 years. You both are committed and have talked about spending the rest of your lives together, but he hasn't proposed yet. How long should you wait for your man to propose?
That's a good one.
It is. You know what? Sometimes men
Wow.
they need to have everything together first before they propose. So they may be taking a longer period of time to propose to you because there's some other things that they want to get together, so to speak. And I just know that just from men. But I'll probably wait forever because I'm not gonna propose to him, so he gonna have to propose to me. So, and I'm like Kendra said, that ain't in my that's not how I'm built. I can't do that. And I'm like
Right.
Mona because this arthritic knee can't help him either. So I'll be waiting forever for somebody to propose to me. Now I'll revisit the subject after a while and say, hey, we did discuss this. Are you still on that train of thought, or have you changed your mind, or what? But I'm not gonna propose to him. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a woman of a certain age.
Come on, Janice. Bring it on in for us, Janice.
And honestly, that is what I want. I think that early on dating a particular person, he asked me what I wanted. And I said, I don't know necessarily that I want to get married again, but I do know that I want companionship.
Mhm.
Well, I want the companionship of a marriage. That's what I want. And, so I'm not going to propose. I wouldn't be the one proposing. And I guess Charlotte, we're going to be on the wait. I believe that anyone I'm seeing is worth seeing.
Mhm.
And I want to be chosen. I
Yeah.
want to be
Oh,
chosen.
now you said the opposite
Yes.
word there.
Heard. You know what
I
I'm
want
saying?
to be chosen.
I want that when he thinks of me, his heart skips a beat.
Yeah.
I want that when he leaves the house, he can't wait to get back to the house. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't propose. I'm not, against anyone who would propose a do you, but being a woman of a certain age, and I've been married before. So I would like to be chosen. I would like for him to say, hey, I want you. And want me and come get me and ravage me.
Absolutely.
Well, I would tell you this, Janice. My mom passed. My dad was in his mid-70s, and I saw him pursue women, and he didn't date a whole lot of women or whatever. He chose the one he wanted, and he he made his intentions known, and he did his thing. And one thing he told me, he said, men don't change. We're the same. So if this man wants you, he's gonna do just that. But again, I heard something when you were saying that you told him at first you wanted companionship, but it sounds like that has kind of shifted, and just make that clear. Now I want companionship and marriage. Men have to be clear where we're at too. Sometimes, they're just as afraid of rejection as we are sometimes. So we have to be clear if that's what we want. Don't say you want ice cream when you want a sundae. Be clear, let them know. And then if that's not what he wants, then okay. But God is going to send somebody, because men don't change when they see what they want. And you're a beautiful woman, and any man would be happy to have you. So it's coming. It's coming. So
So Love Key said, I would love to hear a male's perspective on this topic. I'm seeing in this dating stage, men and women have different reasons for getting married. I love,
And
if
that's
there are any men on the show, I'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
I think to the point of Love Key, I think that we have to have when you're out and you're dating, it's not necessarily that there should be a time frame, but there should be a clear understanding of while we're dating. See, a lot of people date without a purpose. So it's like you're dating with no clear direction of where this is going. Now, if you have a conversation starting off and you all, talk about this, it may be some things that the woman is waiting to do, or waiting to overcome, waiting to heal from, or what have you, and even the male. But if you keep that open line of communication, I just don't believe that you should just be waiting, lacking communication. Like, okay, we talking about it, but then we're not communicating about what do we really expect out of this? Where is it going? I can remember some years ago when I at a particular job that I was at, I used to help customers do like their gift registries and things. And it was a woman that came in and she was doing her registry, and I'm like, congratulations, you getting married. And she was like, well, you mean it's about time? She had been with this man for 20 years. Now that's a little
too long for me.
Outside of it. But if we're dating and we're dating with a purpose, at some point, what we desire should come to a meeting point, and it should be at some point, instead of just, dating a miss, we should have some idea, like, you know what? Okay, as you're going along, you might be like, all right, so we had a year, where are we going? Just keeping the line of communication open. So it's not necessarily, putting a time stamp on this amount of time, but just that over time, the communication is not necessarily like, you know what, babe, I know you desiring marriage, and okay, and I'm just holding you out. No, this is what we're doing, and this is where we're headed. So I think that's really important, is the communication piece on it.
Yeah.
Sheila said something that I agree with. A lot of times men are not ready to get married until they have things in order. Because they are supposed to be the man of the house. They are the provider. So they want to make sure that things are in order. And men, if you're on here, just let me know if I'm speaking out of turn. But if you have someone that you really think, hey, I see that he's working and I know that we're going there, would you be okay with waiting? Is my question.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to piggyback right off of what Deanna. We on the same page today, Deanna. Woo, 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 woo. We right here. If the wait is about us working together, like you said, with a purpose. So we're waiting 5 years because this is going to happen, and we're planning a life, then that's great. I can wait on that, because knowing that this commitment that we're getting into is for a lifetime. So there's no, time limit on that. Right. There is a time limit on the foolishness. These folks who waiting while he getting a divorce, that part, or otherwise, baby drama going on, and then we trying to wait till the child get 18, and I don't have child support to pay no more. Okay. Well, how much time we got? Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm talking about real life, like situations. Like, I have known people to like really waiting on men to get they inside together, not what I mean, and getting their mind right. I'm gonna wait him out, and all this other kind. No, sis, no. We gonna gird up our ourselves. Be okay with yeah, and loving ourselves and being okay. And yes, sometimes women think that they're ready before the man, because it's more to being a wife than a title, just changing my driver's license name from my maiden name. So a lot of times women think that they're ready, but they're not. You know what I mean? So I think in the wait, which is part of what dating and all of that is supposed to be about, I'm getting to know you, you're getting to know me, to see if we're compatible. You know what I mean? And if we're doing this thing the way that we're supposed to be doing, and we're not marrying because of lust, and marrying because we burning up, and all this kind of stuff. But getting to know each other, learning what you like, what you don't like, if our goals are the same, or if we can come together with my ideas and your ideas and we can merge those together to build, then I can wait. Because again, there's a purpose, there's an end. The end justifies the means.
Well, we have some great comments. I'm going to go back. Kendra Toppin said, I think a lot of time we as women are wanting a ready-made man, and that's not always the case. Renee Toppin said, no, I'm not waiting. Period.
Wait, what?
Well, as Mona said, there's nothing wrong with waiting if there is a clear reason for waiting and a reason that makes sense. I think sometimes, again, we are more ready to take the plunge much quicker than the men are. And sometimes women, we got to just hold our horses and be like, okay, especially if you have a man that's communicating with you. Okay, look, babe, I'm just starting my job. I want my finances to be ABC. If you got a man that's making those clear conversations and statements to you, then yes. But if you got a man that's saying, I'm not ready, there's no clear reason why, then maybe then you need to really look into what the wait is about. But if he is telling you it's because of, my finances, I want to make sure this, I want to make sure I'm able to provide your home and all of this, I can go with, but again, if it's no reason just other than I'm just not ready, then maybe you need to look into what does that I'm not ready really mean.
I'm not ready to be tied down to that one woman. All this fish in the sea, it's tuna, it's crackers, it's flounders. I'm just saying, it's a whole sea out here. You want me to settle down with you?
No could mean I'm not ready could mean I'm not ready to be married to you.
That's right.
Thank you.
Hoffman says, I truly believe in being equally yoked. Maybe he knows that you guys are not equally yoked and he doesn't want to waste your time and his time, but maybe he may not be bold enough or to actually say it to you. So we as women have to open up our ears and stop looking at the rings and the wedding and really think about what it means to be married and be a wife, as Mona said. It's more than just the wedding.
That's right.
I want to shift things just a little bit. Okay, just a little bit. So many people who have been together for a long time, longer than many other marriages have lasted, will say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about this statement? Because there are people out there that have been together that longer than some marriages. Not saying I personally believe in that, but what do you guys thought?
Well, honestly, some people do that, and that's their preference. They have had a discussion maybe, and maybe marriage isn't for either of them. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to, meddle in their business and say, hey, you should marry that person. But I just think that everyone has their own opinion about marriage, and maybe they chose not to get married because that's something that they don't want to do. So I guess everybody's preference is different. Now, I personally don't believe in all of that. I mean, if we're dating and you think we're going to live together, I think that having a commitment is something that is going to be within my morals and values, of course. And that's just how I am. I'm not going to be living with somebody or cohabitating without actually being married. But that's just my personal opinion.
Right. Absolutely. I need security. I need security. Mm-hmm. And I know that men need a plate. They need to have a meal ready for them when they come home off of these jobs. They need the home to be peaceful. Mm-hmm. They've been out there fighting the hard fight. They need to have a place, a sanctuary where they can come and relax in. And they need that punani. So you can't be a woman who is holding back that aspect of relation from a man. I mean, there's just so many parts of it. I want a man who chooses me.
Right.
I want a man who wants to do it all. But I know that I'm a woman who would not let a man do it all.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
you know, while I'm not going to propose, but I'm like, oh my God, you know, how many times do men walk past a diamond not realizing what is standing before him and chooses a rock, you know?
Mm,
So,
that's a good one, Janice.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that in today's society, uh, we've been, media and certain things have promoted that gender roles are not relevant. They are relevant, and we need to
Absolutely.
buy into that statement. Yes, remember, you are the woman. You are you should be pursued. Yes, he should propose to you. No, you shouldn't pursue him. I mean, let him know that you're interested and you like him, but then don't give too much too soon. You know, I see a lot of young girls now, they just give it all. Oh, I'm like, girl,
Not the special friend in the obituary.
imagination. I mean, physically, emotionally, or whatever. Hold back. Know your place. It's okay to be a little. Let 'em- you don't have to let them know I am woman. Hear me roar.
Okay.
You can be timid.
I don't mind roaring.
You can be a little, submissive. You ain't always got to be, that beat. And who got that song? Yeah, I'm that. You ain't
Oh.
I'm that girl.
be classy. Be demure. Let them
Angie,
be
Renee Tarplin said this is 2021. That old school gender roles is out of the window for her.
No.
Okay.
That's what the problem is today. That's why y'all on y'all knees, y'all arthritic knees, proposing to
So
these
she said, well, maybe that's why I'm still not married.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's the
Hey,
same today and forevermore.
hey, ain't no problem with you being on your knees. Now you do that how you want. Ain't no.
That's the thing I wasn't on your knees for, though.
I said, take it how you want.
Lady, this is a PG
Make
show.
yours the happy home. That's all I'm saying.
Everybody said, that's all Mary had a little lamb.
Oh my God.
You know something? I think
That's why
after
every
people,
woman have to tell the younger women, okay, yes, it's 2021, but hey, baby, it's still the same principles. Nothing has changed. You
yeah,
still need to know your role, regardless of your gender. Know your place. Don't step outside of your place. We always talking about we want a godly man, but we're doing ungodly things to
Right.
a godly man.
Right.
It's not godly for you to propose to a woman. I don't care how you put it. No, it's not. That's not the way his word put it. You're, know your place. And if he's taking too long and you've had those conversations, then it's time for you to move on to and wait for the next one. But don't put yourself in a position to be the head of something God never intended you to be the head of.
Just out of order. Just
Out of order. Out of order.
Yeah, out of order.
and y'all know something. I think that after people, I think it's kind of a little bit of fear there. Like after you've been with somebody so long, it may be like a hidden fear. Like if I actually, say that I want to be married, or because I don't know, like. I feel like every woman wants that, ability to be able to walk down the aisle, have their day, be able to invite their friends and family to their nuptials and things like that. But I think that, as we were discussing that, ride or die thing, I think that, sometimes we as women are afraid to touch that and let that man know, look, babe, we've been together for all this time. It's a touchy subject because sometimes we have this innate fear that, well, am I going to run him away? I've been here like this in this role all this time, and I always say, if you don't start something, you don't got to worry about trying to, figure out how to stop it.
True.
Yeah, that's true.
Every single thing that he's prolonging in your life, you're going to eventually get tired. But I just think that we have some people who are, women that are suffering in silence that may not feel, welcome to just say like, okay, this worked for this amount of time, but this is not working for me, and they'll take it to their grave. But I feel like we have to come from the confines of those areas and know that we can voice our opinion. We can, we can say, all right, you know what, there's a limit here. Like Love Key said, I don't want to be a special friend on the obituary. Okay,
That was a good one.
you're trying to tell the family done accepted you for 30 years, but when Boo Boo died, when Boo Boo died, and you like, I want him to be buried in that blue casket over there, they like, special friend.
Okay.
No, I've been with you, and I'm gonna pick out your casket, and I'm gonna pick out the flowers that go on the top too. Okay, so
The suit, the shoe. Oh, they ain't gonna see the shoe, but everything. Yes, I personally know someone that dated a man for 20 years, and he passed away. Now listen at this, y'all. Dated this man for 20 years, right? He passed away unexpectedly. That's when she found out that he was married.
Oh, wow.
Yes, because she wound up making all of that. White came out of nowhere.
And got the head on too, honey.
And was like, and yes, you can move out of the house. Yes, you can give me the car. Yeah. This is kind of stuff, so there may be more. What I'm saying is that there may be more behind a man not wanting to get married than just a fear of commitment. You know what I mean? Because there are people that are married, even though they're out here in the dating scene and doing all this, that, and the third, but they're married.
Right.
Yes, you better have you some friends that work at the courthouse, honey, and can run some checks on you for you. I got some friends. Anything I need to know. This is name, this is birthday. They don't need no social security number, name and birthday, and they can find out for you.
That's right. So you've been in a relationship for 20 years and you walk away with nothing but appearing to be actually a 20-year side chick. That's exactly what you
Wow. Wow.
Common law marriage for the birds. I ain't common law. No.
No, she wasn't even able to have a section to even speak in the funeral.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that wife wasn't playing. She didn't care. She was. Yeah, y'all had.
And that was just evil of her because she had. I mean, apparently they weren't in a relationship. If he's been in a 20-year relationship with somebody else and living in a house and stuff, so I don't know. That's just. But I mean, legally, she had the right to do it.
Yeah,
that's right. But what I'm saying is, in all of that, the lesson is that sometimes it's not about them not wanting to commit to you. They can't.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I won't say wasted, but you've been with this one person. And this lady has really committed everything to this one man, thinking that they were in a committed relationship. For her now, to have to find another somewhere to live, she couldn't even be on the funeral. She wasn't even listed as the special friend. She wasn't.
Why she can't even be on the program?
That's what I'm saying. Let alone say anything at the service. Pick out a tie, pick out a casket, nothing.
Was she even allowed to go to the funeral? I know that's all off topic and stuff, but
absolutely, y'all. Look, when I lost my husband, I felt like I lost my covering.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband's been dead almost 17 years. I've been a widow for 17 years. So I desire to have a covering.
Yes.
I desire that.
Yes.
I want to be chosen. I want to be
Yes.
found. But I don't want to propose to
to
Nimrod.
get that cover.
Yes, Lord.
So, ladies, I'm gonna shift it again a little bit. So, do you believe in love at first sight? And also, is there a time frame on how long should wait to get married if you find that person?
Mhm.
Now, I'm gonna jump in right here.
Go ahead. Go ahead,
Yes.
sister.
My husband and I met later in our years. We were not spring chickens. We were not young kids. We were, older in age. Um, and when you say a man that wants somebody will follow, he will move heaven and earth. My husband moved heaven and earth
That's what I'm
because
talking about.
I wasn't too sure in the beginning because I was like, no, I didn't hear God say that. But he was like, well, I'm gonna wait until God let you know that I am your husband.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
But in
Mm.
Hey,
knowing
Lord,
that,
she's waiting on you.
okay, and he prayed and covered me before I even became his wife
Amen.
because
Amen.
he knew
Amen.
I was his wife.
Yes.
And so we were older, and I was the one that was holding the time frame. I had in my mind you had to be engaged for a certain amount of time. I want to check this joker out in case he flip out on me. Okay, so I think for most people it would seem like we got married fast. We actually, I guess, in most time frames. So do you
Mhm.
think that there is a time frame that you should wait? Do you feel like that you necessarily have to wait? If you know he's committed, you're committed, you love each other, is there a time frame?
Well, I'm gonna put it like this. I think it's a yes and no. I don't think that there's a definitive answer on that. Because one, first of all, I feel like people need to know and understand that love is not a feeling
Right.
when we're talking about marriage and when we're talking about, love the way that God has designed it to be. It's a verb. You have to make a commitment to love.
Hmm.
When, we have to make a commitment to ourselves to love when sometimes we're unlovable. You know what I mean? I mean, there are days when there are bad hair day,
You said horse day.
bad horse days,
Yes.
and the makeup, I don't care how many, I take it off and put it back on. It's, there are days when we strive and have to work to, loving ourselves, let alone someone else. You know what I mean? But it's a commitment, it's a choice that we make. So in that framework, no, there's no, I don't think so. But then you can jump into something real fast when you are only getting to know the representative and not who the person is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
representative.
And so you really have to be mindful. And someone put in the comments the red flags that come about. That's the point of the frame of dating, and really, really, really getting to know not that superficial person, not the one who's dressed up and looking good and smelling good, but the one who, when things aren't going their way today, you know what I mean? Is it going to be a bad day for you and me? Can you shake it off and understand that I'm here for you? Have you healed from other past pains and trauma that you
True.
may have acquired from past relationships, past marriages, past, where your mama didn't hug you and now you don't want to be in, hug you now. You don't like to be touched. All of this kind of stuff now does not come out when you first meet someone.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And if you especially, you know, um, marry outside of the framework as God designed it, if you're not marrying someone that knows God and knows, what loving a woman and your wife and your family looks like, feels like, you really more than ever run the risk of coming in contact with something that you're not, you ain't ready. We ain't ready. We ain't ready. You're just not going to be ready. So it's difficult when both people are know God and following in the footsteps. You have times and moments in marriage, but you make a choice. Every day I wake up, I choose to love my husband. Even when we get, we may have a little whoop-de-whoop. You know how it is, we sometimes you can agree to disagree, and sometimes
you better agree to disagree.
That's just being real, But I choose to love him anyway. He chooses to love me anyway.
Amen.
You know what I mean? So,
and y'all know something. With me being, I have to approach things from a different, standpoint, because I have 4 children. So I kind of, this time I said that I was going to take, my time. Now I do believe, in love at first sight. However, I need the person to understand that I need to see who you are. I need, to get a feel for you. How do you handle conflict? I need to, because I need to get to know you first, because it's a process that I've got to take you through, because I need to know you first before I even introduce you to my children. And then that's
exactly.
So we can, be in love at first sight. We can, have the conversation about where we see this thing going, blah, blah, blah. But, I feel as though sometimes when we have children, and especially daughters, I feel that I need to show my daughter something, about how you go through the process of when you find love, and how do you introduce. I myself feel like I need to take my children through that, because, not just my daughters, but my sons.
Absolutely.
Because they're learning their lessons for what they're going to do, in their own futures when they have their own kids, because it's inevitable. My daughters are going to have children. My sons are going to have children, but I need to show them how to do this. And I would expect that, whoever God sends me would understand that. And that's going to play a big part as well. Not always breathing down my back. I need you to understand that, having come from out of a marriage where the man required so much of my attention, and I had to take the attention off of my children. I need you to understand that, I have children. They're going to require my attention. I have other, things that I'm working on. So I need to see, how do you maneuver along with my life right now?
Absolutely.
I don't need you to come in trying to change my identity. I don't need you to come in, trying to do all of this stuff that I'm very well capable of doing on my own, but you are coming in to actually make those things better, for my quality of life, and for my children, to lead us further in what we've already got established.
Amen.
Well said. Well said.
I came from the era of the Harlequin romance. Everybody was Fabio for me. I was in love with it. But as I matured and got older and understood what love really was, as Mona said, it's a choice. You have to choose to love that person in spite of, because you never know. I tell people this when you're talking about getting married, especially in the vows. You don't know what the good is, and you definitely don't know what the bad is. But you got to make a choice that I'm going to love that person no matter what. And that's maturity. Learning to, and until you have gotten to that place of maturity, I don't think you're able to love anyone, because you have to wake up. It's just like, God give us new mercies. You have to give your relationship new mercies every day. Up. You got to start it with a clean slate. You can't wake up mad about what happened yesterday. You got to start off with a new day, a new purpose, a new choice. That's gonna let's make it today. So I believe in love at first sight, but I think again that's romanticized. I know it was for me. But it's when I got mature enough to know what love was, and when I chose to love a person, then I knew that I was ready to love, and all those things. And it's not a feeling, as Mona said. It's an action. Love is a verb. It's an action verb.
Yes.
It's not to show love. And I'm not talking about cooking, cleaning, and having babies.
Right.
It's those things that you don't think about.
Yes.
Being there in that hospital when he's sick and staying there overnight, on that cot and your back hurt. That's what love is. Being there when the money funny, being the breadwinner sometimes, that's what love is. Not saying that I'm talking about when you've had a man who was the breadwinner,
Right.
something happens and you got to step into that role, being able to do that and not be like,
and not having an attitude about
not
doing
having
it.
an attitude, being humble, being grateful that I'm able to do that for you now. So that's what love is. And yes, and if you're at that place, yes, you can be in love at first sight as long as you choose the right person to love.
Absolutely.
I need a man to make love to my.
Oh, girl, say that.
A man either gets me or loses me in a conversation.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? And love at first sight, I believe in that chemistry, that energy that you feel from one to another. That's important to me. So we have good chemistry. I mean, you make love to this brain.
Oh, girl, yes.
And them,
all the rest is easy. It's gonna just be like, ooh, what was that song Tweet had? Ooh, that's on my shirt. Ooh,
Oh, Lord have mercy.
That's a grown folk conversation right there.
Grown folk. Okay.
Oh God.
Okay, so Renee Tarver, RJ Boy listeners are on it.
They are on it tonight.
She says, when you experience hurt and someone who beats to the same tune enters and loves not just me, but my whole being.
Amen.
And that's the word.
Yes.
You gotta love my whole being.
That's it.
You take it all when it come with me. It's funny because I was telling, I think it was Deanna, when I met my husband, I didn't make a effort to, any other man. I was like putting on makeup every day and hair got to be combed every time I see him. And I said, you know what? You get to a certain age and you like love. If he gonna love me, he gonna love me for me.
Amen.
Right. He gonna love me for my hair on my head. He gonna love me when I got makeup on and when I don't. And I was very, very careful for my husband is my plate too. He's gonna love me for who I am and not who my representative is.
Absolutely.
Right?
Exactly.
I want you to see what you're getting: the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Exactly.
Right.
So if they still want you after that, girl, I was like, Well, I said he must really be serious about this thing.
Bam.
For me,
that's a funny
every part of me. I don't want to feel like I have to hide any part of me from him. So with makeup, without makeup, hair standing up, hair laying down. I mean, that's for me. I want to share every part of me with you, and the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know what I'm saying? So that chemistry is what drives me.
Yep. That's the part about marrying your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes.
Marrying my best friend is meaning that I can come to him naked and unashamed. And I'm not talking about clothes. I'm talking about my, emotional.
Right.
My fears, my vulnerabilities,
my innermost part.
My anxieties, what makes me tick, what doesn't make me tick. And listen, marriage is a beautiful thing.
Yes, it is.
It's ordained and designed by God. You know what I mean? And when you marry, and you understand that it's not always about the white picket fence and the house and the cars, you know what I mean, but the companionship that we give to one another. You know, if you were in a true companionship, a true relationship with somebody, it don't matter who fixing who plate. You know what I mean? But my husband cooks, my husband fix my plate, you know, sometimes, and then I fix his plate and cook as well. We do it, you know, it's just one. We're just one.
That's
Two
right.
plates that's becoming one.
Amen.
That's right.
So, ladies, I'm sorry. I am going to have to wrap this up for tonight. This was a great conversation.
Absolutely.
Great conversation. So that is it for us and our show for tonight. But before we go, Deanna, tell us a little bit about our sponsor for tonight's show.
Thanks, Lady Kim. Can you hold up the product for our sponsor on tonight?
Of course, of course, of course.
Isn't it beautiful? Can you
Yes.
beautiful Michael Kors black and white handbag with matching wallet and sunglasses by none other than Bougie Bags and accessories by Carrie. Bougie Bags and Accessories by Carrie specializes in handbags and accessories of all types. Interested in seeing what more they have to offer? Check them out on Facebook or visit the Just Between Us Girls Facebook page for their link and information on how to view their merchandise and orders. Also, ladies, let's lift up our mugs. Never run out of your favorite hot drink with this 15-ounce rounded corners, durable Just Between Us Girls ceramic mug in fashionable black. Look at this. By Evolve with Lady Kim Sims. Give it as a gift to every true coffee or tea lover, or treat yourself to this beautiful mug. Either way, you can never go wrong with this mug. You can order this and other products by Evolve with Lady Kim Sims by visiting our website at www.comeevolvewithme.com/jbug, JBUG. Interested in being a guest on the show or advertising your product or service? Email us today at contact@comeevolvewithme.com. Carla.
Thank you, Deanna. We hope you enjoy our show tonight. We have great news to share. We are now live. That's right, live on both Facebook and YouTube.
Woo!
So check us out on our updated Just Between Us Girls YouTube channel by clicking on the link below in the comments, and I'm going to post it in there. And also by going to our website at www.comeevolvewithme.com/JBUG and clicking on the YouTube icon at the bottom of the page. But don't forget to what? Subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of future shows.
Yes.
So help us to get the word out by sharing this episode on Facebook and YouTube. Mona?
All right, we've come to the part of our show where I will give you the thought of the day. Never settle with being a flower that is picked for just her beauty and left to wilt away. Be wild, difficult to find, and impossible to forget.
All right.
All right.
Love it. What an amazing show on tonight.
Absolutely.
We'd like to thank you, our J-Bug listeners, for joining in on the conversation on tonight. Meet us here every Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. for great conversations just between us girls. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Great show.
Love everybody.
Ladies.
Yes.